Welcome everybody to the Determined Podcast. My name is Pasta Guy, and with me today are my wonderful co-hosts Cupcake Paints and Elsa12TMT. And with us here today, a very special guest, Junjo, the creator of the Spirit comic. Anyway, so Junjo, would you like to introduce yourself to people who might not know who you are?
Yeah, my name is Junjo, or Junjo X on any of my profiles, and I make a webcomic called Spirit. It is about a girl who becomes a ghost at the very beginning of the game, and she says sorry too much.
That's one way of putting it.
I also have an Ask blog for the characters as well on my Tumblr. There's a lot of extra characters on the Axe blog that don't make an appearance in the comic, just AU versions and all that jazz. It gets a little crazy sometimes.
Yep. Definitely, I can testify to that. I have seen my fair share of... I've seen my fair share of Spirit Ask blog shenanigans.
Alright, so yeah, we of course have questions for you, written out and stuff, but we also have we'll also be taking questions from the chat as always. So yeah, chat, do not be scared to ask questions and all that. So yeah,
We don't bite. Go ahead, ask.
Yeah, ask us anything. Okay, so first question we have for you is, your comic is very unique. At least that's what anyone who's read it can tell you, especially compared to everyone else, a lot of other people in the fandom. And the exploration of how ghosts come to be is relatively unique in the fandom. What made you inspired to create the concept that you did, and what made you want to just explore like ghosts in general in Undertale?
Well, I guess it all started with an inside joke in my family. There was a joke about me being dead and a ghost all the time. I think my mom ran an in-home daycare, so she always had to do fire drills with the kids sometimes. And so whenever they did a fire drill, I would just stay home.
Mm-hmm.
So they would go like, "Oh no, she died in the fire. She's a ghost now." and so there's the original idea I got for making the comic was actually from a dream that I had.
Whoa.
Where the main character was actually me. So that's why I got the idea, like, oh, if I was a monster, I would be a ghost because of this family joke thing. And I wasn't planning on showing it to anybody at first, but I was telling this my idea to Bashida, which is an artist friend of mine. She makes some comics too. And she encouraged me to actually post it, but I was embarrassed about having the main character be myself. So I made Faye and some other characters to go with her, and then the story just changed drastically from there. So, but that's where the idea of exploring the ghost thing came from.
Yeah, I mean, it is one of the like least explored things that stuff like up there with like say like fandoms like the fandom like talking about the amalgamates and stuff. It's just like blue. It's just like two of the main characters like Meditate and Blueky are ghosts and stuff. Yet no one seems to do anything with that really. And it was just interesting to see how you decided to weave that into your story and such. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Oh, whoops. Sorry.
No,
Um,
no, you can go.
I'm not gonna lie, and this is where my bias comes in, since I've been a longtime fan, and with a lot of these other pieces of media, it's not like, oh no, did my voice go out?
No.
I can still hear you.
Okay, good. Okay, so with a lot of the pieces of media, it's like, oh yeah, I've heard of them and I've seen a little bit, or I read it and thought it was nice, but I wasn't super like invested into it. Now, this is one of the ones where my bias comes out, and I remember because what is it? I don't know how well you guys know or um Nick Super.
Oh,
Um
NX Super.
NX Super, yeah. Um, awesome guy.
I know.
Super friendly. And he engages and he engages with a lot of Ask blogs, and so he was reblogging a lot of Faye questions and stuff. Um,
Mhm.
back when I think the comic was like only around like Snowden at that point,
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
it's really
And
early on.
so, and I was like, um, what is it? I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a cute design. Okay, let me go in, and I offered some questions and stuff because next Super always what's it called Super is always giving his friends shout outs and being like, guys, come support my friend. And I'm like, okay, all right. So I went to go read the comic, and I was like, huh, okay, this is pretty cool. But then I got to the part where it was explaining how ghosts come to be, and it was like my jaw dropped, and I was like, bro, how has nobody else thought of this? Bro.
I
So
didn't think it
yeah,
was that. I didn't think it was that drop dropping, but thank you.
I I guess it was because, especially speaking as somebody who's like a relatively huge fan of the ghosts in general, and I had read fics and stuff that explored the, like, I don't know if you guys have heard of um what's it called, Entity NEO, which is a comic that explores ideas with what's it called, it's a comic that also explores with, okay, but how far can we push this whole ghost thing
Hmm.
in Undertale. um what is it? So I had seen some things, but I had never seen anybody really tackle the before part, and in such an interesting way. And it's one of those things where, like, I mean, for me personally, kind of like, when you hear, like, if you guys have read the Thought comic or even Dogs of Future Past or whatever, we think there's just some things that it's like you want to face palm, and you're like, how has nobody else thought of this?
Oh
Because
yeah.
once you think of it, you're like, okay, this just makes sense.
Yeah,
Or at
yeah,
the very least, it's interesting.
yeah. Okay. What? One of the things that you know, it's like untapped potential is like some of the just you feel so bad with it, like there's like so much more that like a bunch of stuff could be explored, but it's just like, oh no, it's all about the skeletons or bros or whatever,
Oh yeah.
which I do love those characters, don't get me wrong, but I'm just like, I swear
Of
the next
course.
time I swear the next time I see another Sans led AU and stuff going about like talking about Gaster or whatever, and not doing it anything much original. It's just the. But funny thing you mentioned that, like that untapped potential stuff. Okay, so to bring up my Undertale OTP for a second, because by God, when aren't I?
I don't think a single episode has gone by where you haven't brought it up.
Yeah. Uh, my main ship is Frisk X Azrael, and the content I see for that is all well and good, but there's a lot of untapped potential that's not being explored. They're like, hey, yeah, so the monster ambassador, like, being in a relationship with the prince of all monsters, that's not that's gonna raise some
That's not really
eyebrows.
political at all.
Yeah.
No, it's just business
What-
as usual.
What conflict of interest? So yeah, and it's and it's really funny. Like I've had to explain this like in my own fanfic. That's main Undertale fanfic called Out of the Void. I had to explain to some people in the comments, like when I was still on Undertale Amino and posted the story there, the people were like, "Oh, what do you mean? There wouldn't be that big a deal and stuff between Azrael and Frisk being together and stuff," and I'm just like, no, there would.
I honestly never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right.
Someone in the chat was like, "Underverse Crisis of Infinite Sands."
Oh no, yeah.
Jeez.
It's like,
I mean, we love all the OG stuff. Like, I mean, I guess I don't know. I think of Underverse, and that's one of the, not earliest, but one of the ones that blew up relatively quickly.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, fond memories, but it's when new ones pop up. It's not that I don't like new people making new things. It's just like, but we need love for the other things too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yes.
I'm the last person to say that I hate Sans because little known fact about me is that at one point I was the artist for an imaginary boyfriend Sans blog.
Excuse me.
Oh, really? It's a long story.
We have time, but
there was a blog about a Sans concept where he was your imaginary friend, but also your boyfriend.
The flip.
And for some reason, that really sparked my imagination, and I drew so many pictures of that specific Sans at the beginning. And then the creator of the blog and I chatted up and everything, and they said, "Oh, I don't feel like doing it anymore." And I'm like, "I'll draw pictures. It's okay. I'll do it."
Yeah.
But I look back at that time of my life and I'm a little embarrassed sometimes because of how much of a Sans fangirl I was. So I was deep in the trenches. So I can't say that I don't like Sans, but I can also say that I'm over it.
Yeah.
yeah, he's overexplored.
Yes.
For the most part. Well, except for one tiny little thing. To go back just for like a half a second to what Pasta was talking about with ships. You have no idea what it is what it's like being somebody who ships Sans and naps the blue. No idea. The pain I endure.
The I can understand it a little bit, Elsa, because Frisk and Azrael definitely isn't the most popular ship out there.
My gosh. Every time, because for those of you who don't know, Pasta and I connected through the Undertale Secret Santa gift exchange, which happens every winter, and it's like awesome made.
Next time it comes up, you guys should totally enter. They have a whole blog and stuff.
Very well organized. And the mods are great people.
Please send me a link when that happens because I cannot find things.
Don't worry, Cupcake, we will, because I know you make some great gifts for people for the Secret Santa. Anyways, you were saying, Elsa.
So, my point is this: every single time Undertale Secret Santa time comes around, I have a list of 3 things that I give as options. I'm like, okay, Frisk and Kara, like, being close friends. What is it? Muffet as Metaton's manager, and Sans the Blook. Because it's like, no one will make it unless I explicitly ask for it. It's just, anyway, I'm sorry. That was a bit whatever.
Yeah.
It would be good for an episode, though, I think.
Yeah.
It's just that I guess where I was going with that is you would think the most popular character would get shipped with everybody at least once.
No, he gets shipped more with himself.
Yeah, exactly. He pulled a
one ship more with himself. Okay.
Nah. But what? Who do you ship Sans with? No one. I think he's asexual at this point.
I think he would like to be at this point.
Honestly, yeah.
Come on, we need asexual rep anyway.
Just like, too much.
Too much.
Having a partner, that sounds like too much work.
What was that comic that TC made that one Valentine's Day? And it was like Papyrus and the kiddos were gonna go hand out Valentines, and then Sans was heading somewhere, and Frisk is like, "Sans, where are you going?" And Papyrus is like, "He's heading to his anti-ship bunker for the whole day."
I never read that one, and I read like all of TC's comics.
It was just like a short little Valentine's Day one, and it was funny.
Oh yeah, from the chat we actually have some stuff. Nicole says, I want the link to that Sans imaginary boyfriend blog if you still have it, Junjo.
No.
No. I wanted to get away from it.
I'll get it for you in a second here.
All right. Also, a more legitimate question. Where did the idea for Braun come from, or Brown come from? I'm sorry.
Brown.
I'm sorry.
Pasta.
Where did it come from? Where did his role in the story come from?
Brown is actually supposed to be a support character for Faye. When I designed him, I thought it would be funny if I made a brownie character who was small but didn't like being ignored, but he did because he's small. And so, metaphorical wise, Brown is supposed to represent a very small part of Faye who actually does have confidence and believes in herself. And he has to get kind of aggressive in order to be known because of how deep her self-doubt is. But he's getting there. I grew up going to Girl Scouts, and there was a group name called the Brownies. There's I think that's the second oldest group, and they're actually named after those mythical creatures. So I've always known that brownies were a thing. So I thought, well, I want a small character. Why not make them a brownie?
You know what he kind of reminds me of, especially with the ears. I don't know if you guys have watched this series. Have any of you guys ever watched the show or read the books called Hilda?
No.
It's an animated it's an animated series on Netflix, and it is just wonderful. It's basically one of those children's stories where there's all these like magical creatures and stuff and it's like it's in the kids book type of sense where they're all around us and stuff, but life keeps going on. There's like a regular city and all that, and basically Hilda, one of the main characters in Hilda is this little elf guy who elves in this world are basically obsessed with doing things by the book, like through paperwork and everything. Like most people can't see the elves, and the only way you can see the elves if you fill out a form in triplicate and send it to the head office.
Wow.
And once you do, basically, the little elves are like so tiny, and they build their houses out in the middle of nowhere, so no one will like step on them and stuff. And Hilda at the start of the story is out in the middle of nowhere and stuff. And one of the things is like they don't actually they won't like actually break if you step on the houses and everything. That's how they can stay invisible without people noticing them. It's just that it's still disconcerting when you're like the size of an ant, and then suddenly a large foot just comes through your living room.
Oh yeah.
Oof.
That sounds scary.
But yeah, I totally recommend Hilda.
Reminds me of that one part of the B movie where what's it called? What is it? Okay, so they're in the courtroom, right? And he's got the what's it called? He's got the person who designed the honey bottles on the stand, and he's like interrogating him or whatever, or calling him out. And he's like, "Oh, so you thought making the bottle in the shape of a bear would be appropriate, right?" Well, and then the guy's like, "Oh, well, they're very lovable creatures, and what is it? Winnie the Pooh build a bear, all of those, right?" Mm-hmm. And then what is it? Barry, the bee. He's like, "Oh yeah, you mean like this?" And then they open the door, and they have a wild live bear just comes in.
Yeah. I remember that part. Oh my gosh.
Only on the Determined podcast can we go from talking about Hilda to talking about the freaking B movie. Anyways, another question from Nikhil. This is more of a joke question to Junjo. Would you smooch a ghost?
Would I smooch a ghost? Of course I would. I am a ghost myself. Okay?
You would smooch your own kind, yes.
Yes, I would.
Yeah. Anyways,
I'm sorry. Did something happen?
Yeah, you kind of cut out for a second, like
you disappeared for a second.
Whoops.
Oops.
Anyway, bear comes in your living room, spitting out your throw pillows. That's the line that I was thinking of when you said that.
Yeah.
That's actually another way I died. A bear came into the living room, and
no.
a little kid. It was a quote bear, quotation marks added. Mm-hmm. And there was a little kid in the living room saying, "Oh no, the bear ate your feet. Oh no, the bear." And so I just said, "Ooh, oh no." And then he said, "The bear ate your whole body." And I said, "Oh, I guess I'm dead."
One of the things you bring up the little kid stuff. It reminds me of so I'm off at college right now, and first years were like forced to stay in the dorms and stuff, but we had a preview day where we actually stayed in the dorms and stuff overnight stuff when we were still checking out the college and stuff. Colleges have a preview day after you've signed up for them sometimes, and it's like a whole preview weekend. To get to the little kid part, to make sure that all the people were like up and awake for the for like the morning seminar and stuff, they sent all these little kids down the halls to like bang on the door to tell everyone to wake up, because little kids are like have the most energy
I
first
bet
thing
they
in the
love
morning.
that.
Where do they get the kids from?
Yeah, just the staff's kids and stuff.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, where do you get them? Because like, at my local university, I don't go to university yet, but at my local university, they have an elementary school on campus. So I'm wondering if like they were like, okay, so if you want, you can come to school tomorrow morning, and it's like Friday or whatever, and we're gonna go knock down the doors of all the college kids. Yay!
And then if you do that, then you get candy.
Or extra credit.
You don't need to bribe them. They love doing that stuff.
Yeah, I was about to say, being a little kid and adults telling you, okay, bang on the doors and be as loud as you want to wake these people up is just the most like just thrilling thing you can tell a little 6-year-old.
You mean I won't get in trouble for it this time?
Yeah.
I also lived on a college campus, the same college. Back when they had a family building, they don't anymore. They knocked it down. But when they had a family building to house people who had families but were also in college, I actually I lived on campus, so there was also part of me wondering, like, how like if you live like an apartment complex or whatever, there's like that bulletin that has like, small businesses and advertising for things, and then imagine you come in like you're doing your laundry and you see the bulletin, and it's like, help wanted, kids to knock on the door and harass all the college students awake.
Kid alarm clocks needed.
Kid alarm clocks needed. I'm writing. I'm writing. Right now I'm writing a Deltarune story, and like Deltarune Azrael is gonna be a big part of it. Now on the college campus, I just want to put that as like one of those small background details and stuff. Anyways, let's get back on topic.
Okay.
Let's just go for another question.
Yeah. Faye is a beloved Undertale OC and has received lots of fan art and love. How does it feel receiving all of that for a character near dear to your heart?
Oh my gosh,
especially
it makes
because
me so happy.
Especially because like she started out as like a self-insert type thing, but then that changed over time.
Yeah, she's become her own character at this point. But I don't know. I think the way that I like to express love is to make things for people. So when people make things for me, it means a lot to me. I love every single piece of fan art I get. It is just so much to me. I love it all. I save them all. They're all my background on my computer. It just makes me happy. It just makes me really happy.
It's sweet. Again, like when I have actually got some fan art for my stories and stuff, and again, every time I get it, I'm just like, oh my gosh, just have a little freak out every time that happens.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's so adorable.
Internal screeching.
Okay, come on. You're just saying random letters at this point.
You are literally vocalizing a key smash.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on. Your art style is extremely unique, especially in the Undertale fandom. What are your artistic inspirations, and how much have they influenced your art style and technique?
I guess it, in high school I was very much into anime, so yeah, I'm one of those weebs. um,
Yeah, I
I
am
think
too.
I think the artist that really inspired me in the beginning was Clamp. Uh, it was actually a group of artists who made a group of mangakas who made a bunch of comics, and I really loved how elegant yet also cute at the same time they were. And I guess over time things have just become more round as they've gone along. I guess beans,
Randy.
round faces.
Oh my god, dude, they made so much
It.
manga stuff. Uh, if there's a good chance if you read any sort of if you read or watched any anime slash manga back in the day, especially in the 2000s and stuff,
Yeah,
you would
yeah.
probably at least seen some of their work. I know them for Tsubasa and Holic.
Yeah, I love those two. Those are my favorites.
It's Tsubasa doing the world hopping stuff before Kingdom Hearts ever did.
I know, I love it.
Yeah, Tsubasa was just really interesting, really interesting. It also didn't do like crossovers with some other series and stuff because of its
Yeah, it
world
did.
hopping mechanic.
Yeah, I did crossovers with Clamp's other manga.
Oh, that's so cool that Clamp had its own like expanded universe. Move over
Yeah.
MCU.
Screw MCU. We're going to the OG.
Clamp
universe.
universe. The Clamp crossover.
See, because look, you have the universe for the nerds, which is like the Marvel and the DC comics, right? And then you have the universe for the weebs.
Yes.
Everybody gets one. You get a
Yay.
universe. You get a universe.
Well, it's more multiverse actually.
Multiverse. Yeah, I'm sorry. Something like that.
And even Pokemon has a multiverse now.
Roughly
Come
like
on.
that. Wait, really?
Yeah. I think
Oh
it's
my
implied that Pokemon Let's Go is a different universe.
Hmm.
Or that's going into theory. That's going into theory stuff, so I'm not gonna go into that right now.
Honestly, I wouldn't even know how to react. Regardless.
Yeah,
It's just like, oh, you know what? Sure, of course.
Like that's why catching works differently in this universe. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. My name is neither Matt nor Pat, so I have no idea how to theories.
yeah. All right. Moving right along. This is actually about your Ask blog, which I bet that there's a lot of people that don't actually know that you run one. If you're a fan of the Spirit comics, go check out the Ask blog. It's going to be in the link in the description. And what motivated this decision to open up an Ask blog for Faye, the main character of Spirit? What were your experiences with the Anons, both on your main blog and the Ask blog you would eventually give her?
I think it was also something that I got inspired to do from Bashida, my art friend, because she actually has two comics. One that was just a regular comic, and the other was an Ask comic, and that kind of inspired me to do some sort of Ask thing on my blog as well. So I decided, well, I have a unique character. Maybe people would like to ask her questions.
Ask blogs used to be a lot bigger than they are now. Like back in the
Yeah.
yeah, I think Undertale was like the last big gasp of Ask blogs, honestly, because
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah, like I remember like back in the day, I watched a whole bunch of Ask blogs for like Homestuck and Five Nights at Freddy's when I used to be a big fan of that and all that stuff. It was just so interesting. It's just like like the ass blogs would be really popular, but also like the people that would dub the ass blogs would get like
Oh,
yeah, just I mean honestly this like back in the day where like people like overnight could just explode in popularity just because they made a sort of well made dub on a ass blog and stuff. Someone in the chat also pointed out that My Little Pony Friendship is Magic was also a big stuff for ass blogs. I think that was actually the first ass blog stuff that I saw was like this one Pinkie Pie ass blog.
yeah, things have definitely slowed down on my ask blog end, which I am not too sad about because I've been so focused on getting the comic further along that usually the ask blog comes last nowadays. I'm like, okay, I got the page done. Let's see if I have any questions. I don't like making people wait, so it's good that there's not that many people waiting.
Yeah, I'd be...
And there's so many more characters now in the ask blog since it started.
Just I remember like back in the day when I used to read ask blogs and stuff a lot. Me and my brother would like joke, we would like pretend that we ran an ask blog and just kind of sort of role play from there. It was kind of odd because I'm not big into like I wasn't big into standard roleplay like through text and stuff, but like the type of just roleplay that just kind of happens when you just like talk to a person,
like improv roleplay.
Yeah, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
It's just
you don't have to pay money to go to a theater workshop.
Yeah, it's just
you just do it at home.
Doing it from the comfort of your own home.
Yes.
For only 3 payments of $5.99 plus separate processing and handling. Right?
Yeah.
What's it called? I mean, me personally, when it comes to role-playing stuff, and like just in general, kind of just pretending things like that, most of mine has been done, like you said, like in person. With my sibling. I have a brother, and we just, like, for example, we came up with this game because we had a backyard, and in the backyard we pretended that the backyard was actually a setting for a fantasy computer game called Log World, and the reason was because you log in. That's why.
Big brain thinking right there.
I grew up with a lot of siblings, and we always were making up different games and pretending things all the time. So yeah, it totally makes sense.
I mean, we did the talking about that stuff. We did the standard stuff, like we did the magic add-on stuff where like the characters like genders get swapped or whatever.
Magic and on this character and this character's genders are swapped for this many asks.
Exactly. Oh god, I remember those.
I made the gender swaps their own characters that you could ask the questions to.
Oh yeah.
Because
honestly, it's Far and I forget what the name of Brown's. Oh yeah, Bo.
I made Far a character because so many people had like autocorrect Faye to Far, and I thought it'd be funny if Far was actually a different character. And so like you get autocorrect and you get the other character. And I thought Far sounded like a more masculine name, so I made it. Oh, yep, it's gender swap Faye. Ta-da!
Guys, I don't know about
Far.
you, but far for
Breastfeeding.
far for a male version of Face, it seems like a bit of a reach.
That's going a little too far.
Oh my god.
Add a little bow on it.
Sans would be proud.
Sans would be proud.
Alright, anyways, what are some of your other favorite Undertale creators / comic artists? Like, do you have anyone you look up to and stuff in the Undertale fandom, or are you just like kind of a lone wolf and stuff?
Actually, we mentioned Underverse before. I actually do really look up to Jackie, just because of her work ethic.
Oh yeah.
It's just like, I can only imagine how hard it is to make something that labor intensive, and she's still going.
Yeah.
You know?
Right?
I mean,
even after the
it's-
fandom kind of died down, still going strong. You know?
Yeah, it's just
really
like
admire
it's like, I mean, you're just like, I'm just making dumb scribbles on my tablet and stuff. She's making her dumb scribbles move.
I know, it's crazy.
Moving scribbles is the greatest magic there is.
I look up to you because of your work ethic. Yeah. That's actually from the comments. Smug-looking barrel said that.
Oh, Smug, you.
I mean, same here, honestly. What is it? With the whole admiring Junjo for her work ethic. Junjo knows pretty well that I, when it comes to doing things, I want to do things, but I kind of suck.
Oh, you don't
But
suck.
it's like, bro, she has a comic, she's got the Ask blog, and she's got all the cool things going on, and I'm like, okay, that's what I want to do one of these years. I gotta do it. I gotta do it.
Yeah.
I'm working up to the point where I can. I'm on my way.
You know what actually helped me a lot to get stuff done? The simple thing of just writing down a list of what you need to do actually helps me a lot. Especially like if it's one of those lists, like every time you finish something you cross it out, because for me I'm just like, oh, that's satisfying, crossing out something that you're supposed to do. Like I said, I'm working on a Deltrude fanfic and stuff, and the story I finished right before that. It's like a lot of people loved it and stuff. Everyone thought it was everyone that I saw thought it was great and everything, but it took so long to update.
Oh.
It was just like chapter 3 and chapter 4. It's only a 4-chapter story, so it's not that.
That one.
Yeah,
That one.
It's like it was like the chapter I posted was like April, and I only posted the final chapter in July and stuff, and I feel so bad, and people were just like, no, it's fine, and I'm just like, no, I know.
No.
Yeah,
I know what it's been like. I know what it's like being that person checking every day checking every day, like every morning and every like afternoon, checking to see if my people have uploaded or whatever. I know that feeling.
Don't call me out like that. That's not nice.
I'm calling out myself too, you know.
I did a similar thing though, Pasta. I did when I first decided I wanted to make the comic. I did a little bullet outline of all the story beats I wanted to do, and every now and then I go back to that Word file and I mark off the parts of the story that I've gone through so far.
Yeah.
It's like,
Aw.
oh yay, it looks like I'm about halfway there. And then I'm like, oh wait, I wanted to add this, this, and this, and then I add more bullet points. It's like, no, it's gotten longer.
Oh no.
The bottomless list. The bottomless list. I can't say that.
But less
Tongue
list.
twister.
It's
My
Bottomless
thing,
list.
my
pickle
issue
pipe
has
of
always
pickled
been
peppers.
my
Peanut
list
butter,
does
peanut
not
butter,
like me for sure.
Mm.
But what is it? My thing has always been that I make too many lists and I don't actually do the things. I literally have. I could probably. If I pull out a notebook from my cabinet that has all of my notebooks that like I've ever had, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
turn to a random page. There's like no joke. There's like a 70, not even a 65% chance that it's gonna be that I'll open the page to a to-do list.
Mm.
It's so
Well, the thing
bad.
is, like, one of the things that help me out with like lists like that and stuff, I give myself like firm like dates and stuff,
Yeah.
and time periods to actually finish stuff up. So that also motivates me. And it's not just, and I don't just like say like, oh, I write it down as like, oh, I have like I need to finish it like this scene I'm working on. I need to finish it in 3 days and stuff. No, I actually like list out the days, and like each day I work on it, I cross it out. So yeah, that also helps me. So yeah, maybe giving like concrete dates and stuff would really help with your productivity if you haven't tried that before.
Yeah. And
I've done that, and to be completely blunt, um, it has been working for me now that I have the ability to like function, because
Mm.
I had a lot of
hmm,
undiagnosed issues that were getting in the way of me doing like anything at all. You
yeah, yeah.
know, I would want to do things and I'd be like, bro, I want to make this, I want to make that, but it's like that mental what is it, that part of your brain puts like a mental chain to like a chair or a bed or something, and you're just like, nope, okay, I'm gonna be stuck here for a couple hours. All right, I'll do what I can, you know what I mean? But once I got that part sorted out, I guess what is it? My lack of productivity in fan works was a symptom of a bigger issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And so now that I'm on my way to like fixing that, I've been trying a lot of the things that I've tried before. I'm trying them again, and a lot of them are actually working. Um, I've been like I picked up bullet journaling, for example. So that's like kind of like to-do lists,
Yeah.
except with a couple more things attached to it, like the notes bullets and the event bullets and all that stuff. I've been giving that a go, and just kind of and doing bits of like journaling and stuff like that to just kind of vent on the page. I've been trying a bunch of different stuff, and I have actually been seeing a lot of improvement.
Well, yeah.
It's just it's just
Really, uh,
go ahead.
sorry.
It's okay.
um, sorry, I just wanted to say that I'm proud of you because I know how hard it is to get that stuff back together again. Mental illness runs in my family, so I'm very well aware of how hard it is. So I'm proud of you that you've made so much
Thank you.
progress.
That means a lot. A lot. Yep. Um, but yeah. So I guess for the general listener, we would say, those are the suggestions that we had. If you want to increase your productivity by making lists, stuff like that. But also, if nothing you do, what is it? If none of the techniques are helping, try to see if there's like another underlying issue, because that could possibly, if it can be resolved, or at least treated in some way, it could increase it could make a lot of positive changes in your life, not just your productivity, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something encouraging.
Yes.
All right.
And I believe in you.
We believe in you, Elsa. Just remember
I
that.
think you all can do it.
Gosh.
All right. Speaking of productivity, Junjo, you've been working on this Spear comic since early 2017 and have made over 400 pages to it. How do you keep yourself motivated for so long to keep updating as frequently as you do?
I think I've been very excited about this project for a long time, and I think I guess I have this fear of making people wait. So I'm always like, okay, I have to get one down. I have to get an update done by the weekend. And that's usually my motivating factor is like people are waiting for me and I don't like making people wait. I actually have dreams about it.
Oh my god.
Making people wait. Yeah, that's one of my reoccurring dreams is me getting ready for something and knowing someone is waiting for me, but I never get finished getting ready. So I think so I might be overproductive. I might be overworking myself a little bit. But
we talked.
I do have a bunch of friends who are encouraging me, and everyone's always understanding when I can't get a page out. But usually I do it because I want to. I try not to force myself.
Hopefully you don't get what Lynx Griffin got. We talked about this last time on the show where she's like her side her Undertale stuff.
Her day job.
Yeah, her Undertale stuff and her day job are like all about drawing and stuff.
Yeah.
And she kept on working at herself, and then her like wrist like started to have problems because of that. Start to seize up and stuff because of it. So hopefully that doesn't happen to you. Like, to take care of your drawing arm and all that.
Yeah. Thankfully, my day job does not require me to draw. It does require me to be very social.
What is your day job? Just being curious.
Day job.
Daycare, right?
Yeah, I work as a child care provider. I work with the little babies.
Little children.
I'm very I guess you could probably see it in my comic and in my other work, but I have a great passion for children, and I have a lot of child characters.
Oh, that's sweet.
Flurry is like a little bundle of joy, and I love him.
It's just.
It's just like where are the children in the story?
Where are the children?
Junjo being out here like I'm working with children, raising the next generation. Meanwhile, I'm in college. I'm like, after college, I don't know, I'm gonna be a writer and stuff. Just gonna be all alone in my house.
Oh, but children are gonna read those stories and be impacted by them too.
Yeah,
it depends on the story. I'm gonna be
even
writing.
If you don't want children to find them, they will find them.
Yeah.
They will find them.
I mean, the first original story I'm probably gonna write is this one love story and stuff, and I'm pretty sure kids won't be interested in that. But second story,
like maybe more of a teen audience.
Yeah, the second story I'm gonna write is gonna be is hopefully going to be this grand epic science fiction story, which again, to put it I've described it like this in many ways before, but the main conceit of it is Indiana Jones, but in a anime mech suit.
Oh my!
Basically,
you know what? Sure, go for it.
Basically, the conceit about it is it's basically like basically we're on. The story starts out on like a far off planet and stuff, and basically humanity has like just like become a spacefaring race, conquer spacefaring race, like can terraform planets and stuff. But all that stuff like happened hundreds of years ago, and to this planet and all that, it's kind of a abandoned human colony and stuff, and it's just and the thing about it is like it's like back to like 18th 19th century technology, and the basic conceit is like this archaeologist basically uncovers this this mech style suit that used to be like weapons for they used to be like weapons in like the wars between like spacefaring humans and stuff, but it hasn't been used in hundreds of years, and like him like reactivating that one ship caused it a chain reaction to like reactivate a whole bunch of old technology and stuff on the planet. And
like in Breath of the
and
Wild.
mech suits.
Yeah.
Wait,
yeah, and mech suits. That's the main stuff, and basically it's going to I have a whole book series planned out, probably going to be like 3-4 books, and it's basically like it's a story that starts out small, like I said, 19th century level technology and stuff. 19th century level technology. But by the end of it, it's going to be like a grand epic space opera, flying through the stars and all that.
Oh, that sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, I know. I actually got the concept of. Kind of reminds me of Turn 8 Gundam. Yes, that is one of my inspirations. Dr. Mecha in the chat, and one of the other inspirations and stuff is like this one anime YouTuber who I really love, probably my favorite anime YouTuber, called Giguk. He made a video called "The Fall of Mecha" anime and stuff, because mecha anime has gotten less and less popular in the last couple of years. I mean,
yeah.
Of course, there's still like a Gundam every once in a while and all that. But it's still fallen out of favor. And my thought was, hey, these like mech suits and stuff, they're gonna, by the time I'm probably gonna run it and stuff, they're going to be like seen as like these old, ancient, powerful things that like used to help shape societies and stuff, being uncovered by people who don't really understand them and all that. And I think that's going to be an interesting it's going to be like an interesting metaphor for like the anime industry, like anime industry and stuff. It just like uncovering these things that used to be so important, but now are just like old relics and all that. So yeah. But getting back to like
Cost guy interview when?
You, Mr. Hippo, going across the screen at half opacity. Sorry. I joke because I love. It's okay.
Yeah, I know. Anyways, let's get back to your stuff.
Children. I love kids too. I want to be an elementary school teacher.
Oh, that's sweet.
More power to you.
Yes. Join the club. Oh, what is it?
I don't
Or
want
I'll
that
join the
kind
club.
of
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't.
I have enough responsibility just taking care of the multitudes of nieces and nephews that I have.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Also, the animals that you have at your house.
Yeah, but at least the animals can take care of themselves. The children have to be supervised.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, my dogs and pets need to be supervised. my dogs have known to one time one of them literally ate my brother's homework. So that he was crying because he was like 8 or something, and he was super upset because he's like, I'm gonna have to go to the classroom, and they're gonna say, what happened to your homework? And then I say, my dog ate my homework, and they're gonna be like, no, you're making that up, but she actually did eat my homework.
Oh my gosh.
Same dog also chewed on my stepdad's paycheck. He was
Oh no.
So yeah.
What a funny thing you mentioned about that. I'm just thinking like, who was the first kid that like came up with that? Like, my dog ate my homework and stuff.
It probably
Well,
was the dog eating their homework.
Yeah.
But they used it too many times.
Yeah, just I wanna know where that comes from. It's kind of like
It might have been
it's
once,
like those
but then
old
all the other
phrases
kids
that no one
used
knows
it.
where they actually can't come from. It's like one of those questions that just sometimes I think about, like you know, with like milk and stuff. Who was the person who thought, hey, you know what I want to do? I want to get the like juice that comes out of cows and stuff. I want to drink that.
I mean, it just keeps coming out.
Yeah. Okay, but Dr. Mecca.
With some cheese? You know,
Yeah.
I think cheese is scarier.
Yeah.
I personally think cheese is scarier.
Cheese
Not only do you
was
have
made
to-
by accident. I think that's.
It's like, oh no, this milk is gone bad. Whatever.
Nom, nom, nom.
But I gotta eat. Oh, hey, this is kind of good.
Waste not, want not.
Yeah. Hey, back when like primitive humans and stuff, that must you ate what you had.
Yeah.
But anyways, Dr. Becca in the chat was like, Junjo, it seems you're well versed in child psychology. Are you well versed in child psychology, or?
Well, I've been around kids and I've been working with kids all my life, so I have a pretty good understanding of how they work. But
Same.
I have not taken any psychology classes or anything like that, so I would not call myself an expert. I just know things based off of my own experiences.
Yeah.
So you know, not by training, by experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Same here, honestly. I have like relatively little, if any, training on child psychology. Most of anything that I know that is like actual proper knowledge would be things that I researched on my own time.
mhm.
But for the most part, I've just been around kids so long, so I don't even know, because I know that like with you were saying you've just been around kids all your life. For me, it's just that at a very early age, I knew what I wanted to do with my life, which was be an elementary school teacher.
Yeah.
And I had other reasons besides, because I do love kids, but I have other stronger reasons as to why I want to pursue that career. And so ever since I was little, I've been kind of working towards that goal of making sure I get it and picking up whatever knowledge I can along the way. You know what I mean? So it just left me with like a bunch of, like, I'm a long list of tips and tricks at this point.
Yeah. The funny thing we talk about being self-taught and stuff, it's like, like obviously I knew like I got taught like how to write and stuff and like from school and all that, but when it came to like actually like making a narrative and stuff, and all that was all me, like me just like me taking stuff from my favorite stories and just kind of figuring it out along the way, which you can really tell with some of my earlier works and stuff, because you could tell there were at points where I was just like, what am I doing? I don't know.
It's all part of learning.
I'm extremely blessed to have gone to schools that happen to have um, really good ways of teaching writing. They started early, so that's one of those skills that, like, at this point in my life, it's like second nature. But also at this, I'm one of those I'm one of those jack of all trades people that, like, I do a little bit of everything,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
like it's my full-time hobby.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so at this point in my life, because I've been writing for so long, it's effectively second nature, but it wasn't before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, that's actually one of the things that I'm really passionate about when it comes to um, educating kids. I One of the things that I really want to bring out, um, one of the things that I want to put an emphasis on or dedicate time to when I'm a teacher is starting early, because I think everybody should have the ability, or at least get a chance to pick up the ability of expressing yourself in writing, because
Yeah.
it's just something so valuable, and it can also be something really beautiful if you decide to pursue it as an art form.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
also makes good money. If you become a one of those grammar police people, you're gonna be making a lot of dough because nobody else wants to put up with that.
I was about to say, honestly, like, becoming a teacher, it was one of the things that, when I was younger, I wanted to do because it was more for, like, kind of the power that, uh, uh, like the power that teachers had like over students and stuff. I mean, like if you're like a put upon kid and stuff, there is a part of you that'd be like, when I'm older and stuff, if there were kids like that in my classroom, I'm gonna tell them what for and stuff. But then I like,
Yeah.
but then I like learn about like what like teachers have to deal with and stuff, and I'm just like, of course they're going to slip up and not like get like every kid being like mean to another kid and stuff. They have to deal with so much stuff already.
Yeah,
I
and so like
mean,
some things just happen and you just can't stop it, you know?
Yeah.
Even if you're right there, things still happen. You feel really bad because like you know that like, oh no, I should have stopped it. Why? I like, oh, I was right there. I should have been faster. But sometimes there's not anything more that you could have done, you know?
Yeah. All right. Well.
maybe I don't know if this is I don't know if this is um just an unpopular opinion or whatever, or if it's just like, my history and my trauma talking. But actually, the thing that really did push me to decide to pursue education was because I felt that what kids need, because at the end of the day, um, teachers, especially for elementary school, are there to help with the process of learning how to coexist with other people.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the things that teachers needed to be, for me, I never got,
Hmm.
ever.
Well, that's so sad to hear.
So it's like, and there were a lot of instances, like you were saying, there were like some kids that, they're jerks and they do this, and like to a certain extent, you can't go back in time, reverse any. But I'm of the opinion that there's always something you could say to at least make them think about it, because they're not.
Yeah.
I believe that um I believe that there's some kind of something out there. Somebody once said, once you get to a certain age, your mind has been made up about most things. You're kind of done figuring out who you are. You're just carrying it out in a sense
Yeah.
after that
Hmm.
point.
Yeah. I think that there's an actual term. I think the actual like psychological thing is like age 25
Yeah.
when your brain stops developing and stuff, and you kind
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
you get a lot more set in stone, uh, and and for one thing, a lot of people after 25 they chill the hell out. For one thing.
Yeah, like your frontal lobe is fully developed at that point. And
Hmm.
that's the part of your brain that controls like your cognitive thinking and choices and stuff like that.
Yeah, honestly, self-control is probably the biggest mark of an adult
Yeah.
that I can really make. It's like the just like
Like, yes, I can eat ice cream for dinner, but should I?
exactly like
It makes me
honestly
feel terrible. So.
honestly like sometimes I do fall back into some like kitty stuff sometimes, and instead of maybe just like going on and on about it, like usually a couple of minutes into doing that stuff, I'm just like, wait, the hell am I doing?
It's like what?
What am I doing?
Notice-
Yeah.
I've noticed that's a symptom of like ADHD or like autism or like a bunch of things. There's like a bunch of conditions that people have where they have like this energy that they can't do anything with, so it just manifests in like these really random
Yeah.
ways. Like literally a month ago, my mom got mad at my brother because he decided to take a knife and go on the because we have like like when you're gonna cook at the stove or the sink or you're gonna do something and there's like a mat on the floor. We had
Yeah.
like these like not rubber, but like these kind of like squishy air foam mats, and he like sliced all the way through, like not once, not twice, but there were like at least 10 different slices, and my mom was like, why though? Especially, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, she was mad, but on another level, it's self-control can be really hard. That's something that there's a lot of things that I think people should be a lot of concepts that I think people should be exposed to earlier in life. And I don't think enough. First of all, I think a lot of people baby kids in the
Yeah,
sense
they
that
do.
they think, oh, they're not ready to hear that. They're not ready to hear that. And I'm like, bro, look at you. You can't even handle, because nobody told you that you can't handle X, Y, and Z. So I don't know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah. I am in the belief that kids are a lot smarter than we give them credit for. It's like,
Yeah.
for one thing, they know. For one thing, at least from my experience as a kid, they know when they're being talked down to slash pandered to. Like, you're like, oh hey, kids, are you ready? Are you ready to learn? Learning is fun. And me just being a little 9-year-old being like, what? Learning isn't fun. We have to do it. It's not. It's not. It can be fun, but it's not inherently fun. I mean, obviously, I didn't phrase it like that because I was 9, but
Meanwhile, you had me actually saying that and then getting sent to the principal's office. Like, effectively word for word. I would be like 10 and I would use all the words that you just did, and I get sent to the office. And because I don't understand what's going on, I start crying. And then it's like, yeah, I mean, this maybe I'm getting too heavy, but like it's just like I know those experiences all too well, and I know what it feels like all too well to be like shut down. You're only allowed to be independent by this much. But you also can't be super dependent. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like people have this idea of where children need to be in terms of dependency versus independence, and if they step out of either, suddenly they're bad kids, and I don't like that. And that's
No,
something
they're
that
not bad kids.
exactly
Everybody,
it's just
every kid learns at a different pace, and some kids just aren't ready for certain things yet, you know?
and some
Some just need
understand
more
things quicker
guidance
than
too.
others
Yeah.
and just don't know, like for example, like something obviously, what you said, Pasta, about isn't it really fun. That's something that at a young age I was able to understand, but tact was not something that I had to develop. So of
mm,
course I would open my mouth and say it because I'm like, oh, why are you lying to kids? I mean, because I don't understand the tact. I don't understand. I don't yet under the concept of okay, let me just not say that because, you know, like I'm not going to get into the psychology of why you don't do that, but you get what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
just people don't
it's just yeah, it's
people
just
look
the
at kids
natural
and they don't
part.
really see what they're looking at. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. It's hard to tell when people are done talking.
Yeah, me too. I I
Definitely.
talk a lot.
It's okay. It's just
Yeah, it
I
fills out
wanted
the
to
time.
clarify. I wanted to
It does.
clarify about something I said earlier about how I wanted to make sure that something didn't happen. I work with 1-year-olds, so at that age, 1-year-olds are very it's very developmentally appropriate for them to be biting.
Yep.
It is,
So so
yes.
so when I say I wish I could have stopped it, it's because I didn't want any of my other students to get hurt.
Mm.
uh,
Oh, it's hot. Yeah.
but yeah, I totally agree with what you said, Elsa, about how there's you can always have a conversation with the kid about how the decisions they make affect other people. you know,
Yeah, consequent.
yeah, natural
Something,
consequences.
some kind of wisdom that I've picked up, I guess, from actually to to bring it all back from learning how to write and really studying language and stuff like that, and being and mostly being a writer has given me the ability to play with language in such a way where I can simplify things for people,
Yeah,
especially children. So
Yeah.
even if it's like a rough idea, I do my best to like at least not let nothing be done. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
like
yeah,
to I guess make a heavier example of like the biting thing. Um, it's like sometimes they need to work it out on their own. And it's like, okay, that really sucked to watch that, these two kids are arguing and you kind of want to be like, bro, you guys, come on, get over it. It's not such a big deal. But at the same time, it's like, oh, but they have to do it.
yeah.
Did my
But I don't want. I like the thing is that with 1-year-olds, most of the time they bite not because they want to be aggressive, but because their mouth hurts and they don't have
Oh
words yet,
yeah,
and they're
it
confused
sucks. It
and
sucks to
they're
be teething.
frustrated. Like they want the person to stop, but they don't know how to do it, so they just bite them. That's usually
Yep,
how they do it.
exactly. And I'm thinking like a quarrel between like two kids and they're both frustrated with each other because they can't understand, so they start yelling at each other and I'm like, okay, I can step in and tell them to calm down, but if they start but the part where it gets tricky is when they're like, but just because I'm helping you doesn't mean that you're in the right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
So that's
yeah,
that's where
it's
it gets
important for
weird.
the kids to understand how they feel, why they feel that way, and what they can do about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway, yeah. Um, maybe I'm just nerding out about kids too much, but
Oh, you can nerd out with me all you want.
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
I know.
although,
I know that. It's just
although
it's cool.
this is
I
an
usually
Undertale
don't talk
podcast,
to
so
other
we
people.
probably should
I
get back to
usually don't talk to
Undertale.
other people. Oh, I keep talking over you. Whoops.
It's okay. It's fine.
okay.
Um, yeah.
So, yes.
Question time. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Smug Looking Barrel in the YouTube chat asks, Junjo, why did you make the decision to make Faye an orphan?
uh, for me, I wanted her. A big part of her um, story arc is her feeling like she doesn't belong anywhere, and I thought uh, so having that start off in when she was young, going from foster parent to foster parent to foster parent would help. Like would she would never have a place where she actually belonged, and so it'd be hard for her to feel like she belonged anywhere. And and there was another reason why I had her parents die in that fire. But I can't really explain it much because it's
Oof.
spoilers.
Spoilers.
It's spoilers. But I mainly did it to kind of reinforce the main uh, theme of her story arc, which was not feeling like she belonged.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, it's true that if you don't have a physical place to come back to, it's a lot harder to develop an emotional place to.
Yeah.
So that would make sense.
Yeah, those issues are very deeply rooted.
Yeah.
Deep.
I actually I had some more pages of Faye's flashback that I decided to remove, which were mainly just more pages showing how often she would be moved from house to house to house, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought, well, this flashback is lasting long enough, and I don't want it to become redundant, so it can be implied, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now we've got confirmation anyway. Yay!
Yay!
Yeah.
uh, so, Pasta, you've been quiet.
Yeah.
Say something.
Something. No. All right. Well, let's move on to a question from the more official list. What's it? What's it like having to balance multiple OCs that you've created from this comic with the original cast of Undertale? You know, having them interact and such.
Yeah. Since that is a very good question, because a lot of the ways that the original characters have kind of changed in my comic is all because Faye is not a human. She's a monster.
Yeah.
And so I try my very best to keep the original cast true to the original game, but there are points where they do change simply because they're dealing with a different person.
Yeah.
And
It's like some random person that just moved in versus like a bear that just came into the town for no reason.
Yeah. It's like, oh, it's a new neighbor, or like, oh no, it's a murderer.
Oh no,
it's an alien.
Oh no. So I guess my OCs, having the S-Blog has actually helped me quite a bit to solidify how my OCs act quite a bit. And so getting to learn how to, I have to think about how would this character react to this person if they're just a new face rather than a human who might kill them.
Yeah.
So for Sans, a lot of people ask, like, well, why doesn't Sans go to save her? Why is Sans so mean? What is he doing? Like, well, Sans never promised Toriel to protect a ghost girl.
Yeah.
He never did.
And Sans is kind of antisocial anyway.
Yeah, he's always been a little bit pessimistic underneath it all. And he's kind of like on edge because he knows that something's gonna happen, but he's not sure what and what to look out for. And
he's got his own.
Hopefully, you guys have gotten to the part where Mettaton shows up, because the way Mettaton reacts to Faye, I thought was hilarious.
I need to
laugh at my own jokes.
I need to know what it is. I'm just. So I know what I'm gonna do for the next 5 hours. You know, just binge read.
Well, I could just say it if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I thought since Mettaton actually was a ghost before, he would know about how ghosts work. So he would recognize that Faye is a new ghost, like a baby ghost. She's been alive for like, I don't know, 3 days.
Aw, baby ghost.
So, and also the river person called Faye a baby ghost as well because of that. And so I just had Mettaton acting like she's actually a baby and going like, "Oh, you're so cute and precious. Oh, oh adorable. Oh, your soul hasn't even flipped yet."
what is it? I could see Mettaton being the one that, as long as it's not his baby, right? If he sees
Yeah.
somebody else's baby is crying, like on the other side of the room, he will like straight up bring the whole supermarket to the kid. Like, oh my God, what do you need? You want cuddles? You want milk? You want toys? What is
Oh, you
it?
adorable thing.
And then like dramatizes the whole thing. Oh,
Would
the
you like
sub,
something
oh, the
sparkly?
pain and suffering of being a new being in this world, or something like that.
Yeah.
Inspires his next passion project. Next
Yeah.
Mettaton TV show special. Life as a baby. The struggles of child.
I
Featuring
think,
Mettaton.
yeah.
Go to the
Another big
Monster Network.
Another big difference between how like with Toriel, Toriel tries really hard to make sure that you do not leave, but she just lets Faye go.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, she's
Faye doesn't actually have Faye's not really in any danger in Toriel's eyes because she's not a human anymore.
she's a ghost.
She's a ghost, so she has no reason to mention that Asgore's after her because he's not. And she's like,
Yep.
well, I recognize that look on your face. You know? And she's probably been through a similar thing, feeling like I can't be here anymore because of such and such. So
Yeah. All right. So, how do you write your OCs interacting with the Undertale cast, and what are your favorite interactions that your OCs have with the original cast, like pairings
Other than
and
the
stuff?
Mettaton baby Faye, because that's just wholesome.
I think the biggest interaction that the comic deals with is actually between Faye and Flowey, since Flowey says that Faye is not supposed to be here and she's breaking a lot of rules. Oh no, and I can't explain why because spoiler, but for some reason Flowey does not like Faye being here, and in the most recent pages, it's revealed that Flowey doesn't belong where he is either because he's Asriel in a flower body. He's not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And so there's just kind of like that connection between the two.
Yeah. Why are you here? You're supposed to be dead. So are you.
You're both supposed to be dead.
The same to you.
A reverse Uno card.
Reverse Uno card. I think that would also be a good example, like you were saying earlier. The characters change because of the circumstances. Cause like, when Frisk fell down the into the underground, Flowey was like, "Heck yeah, okay," pulling out the popcorn. You know, at least it's something new. You know.
Yeah.
Woo, someone else can die over and over again.
Yeah. Although, I think when Frisk fell down to the underground, he was kind of forced just to watch because Frisk was the one with the most determination now.
Yeah.
But Faye does not have a determination soul, so Flowey still has control over the timeline, so he can do what he wants.
Exactly.
So he's taking this opportunity to mess with Faye as much as he can. And she's a ghost, so he can't really kill her, but he can kill everyone else and make her feel bad about it.
Of course. Especially
it's like, oh yeah, this is your fault,
And then I could see, because you kind of said, to an extent, he's projecting his feelings onto her and feels like, oh, well, but I'm not, but kind of othering her. Like, but I'm not like her.
Yep.
To not deal with his problems. And, he screws over Faye I don't know how to describe it. Like, that's the vibe.
Like, he's projecting his problems onto her. Yeah,
then
like
take,
he's projecting his own self-hatred onto her.
yeah.
It-
Which, if that's not the most flowy thing.
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
No.
As Flowey slash Azrael has been known to project a lot onto
Oh,
yeah, one of the things. I know it's strange to bring this up again, but one of the things Frisk Real thing is like as Real starts to see Frisk is like there's this like super amazing like great perfect person that like did all this cool stuff, and I just like they're so amazing. But would they actually want to be with me, or I mean, am I really all that special? I mean, again, if you want to really get like if you really want to understand the relationship and stuff, go listen to the song "Love Like You" from Steven Universe. The person singing that, basically him.
Oh.
No, I can just sing it. If I could begin to be.
No, I'm sorry. This is a podcast, not a singing hour. I love the song, but come on, we have other stuff to do.
Like that.
Yeah.
Like you.
Another
legit, that might be that legit. Love Like You is one of my just all-time favorite songs.
Aw.
Yeah, rose quartz. For people who have seen the show, you know.
Yeah, even though my favorite crystal gem is actually garnet.
Oh, Rose. Oh, Rose.
I mean, I literally have a little figurine of garnet right next to my desk.
Yes.
Along with some other stuff like a little yarn Yoshi and Mario and Luigi and some Pokemon stuff.
You got the squad.
Yes.
Yay!
I still have to make my Sans plushie.
Aww.
I've made one before.
Yeah, you also made a plushie of. You also made a plushie. You also made a plushie of Faye. I saw when I was looking through the pages.
I made a plushie of Faye, and I've made a plushie of Brown, and I've made a plushie of Hana.
Oh my god!
I've also made a plushie of the character that my icon is now. But those last two I gave away, so I don't have them right now.
I need to see the Hana
Yes.
The Hana one, I can send. I think I have a picture of it somewhere. I'll send it to you in a bit here.
She's my favorite of your OCs, in case you couldn't tell by this point.
Yeah. With how.
I'm so
just
glad
so
Hana's
freaking
getting some love.
adorable.
Yeah.
She's so nice.
I am so glad Hana's getting some love. We're gonna get some more information about her in chapter 9, which is coming up soon.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah.
We'll get to meet her children and all that jazz.
Yeah. All right.
I want to see Hana, Mom.
Yeah. All right.
Question time?
Yeah.
There's
No.
a question in the chat.
Oh.
From Dr. Mecha to Junjo. Also concerning your latest pages, what got you to believe in the theory that it's Gaster who created Flowey and the Amalgamates?
Oh, that's a good question.
I don't think that Gaster made all of the Amalgamates, but I do think that he had some. The main thing that makes me think that it was Gaster, or at least someone who wasn't Alphys, who made Flowey, was because of how different the logs were that talked about him. Like, they were a different color. It was written in a different style, so that made me think that it was somebody else writing those logs other than Alphys.
Yeah.
And I also kind of wanted there to be a connection between Gaster and Flowey because of how that would give Gaster more of a reason to try to help Faye out and try to stop Flowey, he would be more invested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if Gaster didn't show up in Waterfall, Faye probably would have just kept continuing on, and all the people behind her would have been dead instead of going back to save people.
Yeah.
You talk about like Flowey and Gaster having Flowey and Gaster having a relationship and stuff. Not to spoil too much from my story, but I keep bringing it up. Yeah. Yeah, but it's actually similar to something in my story where because of some Gaster was one of the reasons Azrael was brought back to life and stuff. And Azrael was, and him and Gaster share a sort of odd relationship because of that. Because to actually get back to life, Flowey had to do some pretty, let's just say, not savory stuff.
Yeah.
And Gaster kind of forced them in on that, and so it's just. So their relationship is kind of awkward. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The main thing, I'll just explain it here because I'm probably not going to have an opportunity to do it in comic. But I was thinking that the reason why Gaster used flowers at first because he didn't want to use it on actual living people yet because determination was pretty volatile. But there is a log that says that the flower seeds are sticky, and that gave me the idea. Oh no! What if someone got that on their hands and then they started melting? And that made me think that they were doing experiments with, and like that's why the seeds were sticky, because they were melting with determination. But it doesn't really explain how flowers who are pretty physical melt, but hand wave it.
I mean, this is a story about like the main character is like a ghost with like butterfly wings. I think you can just suspend your disbelief a little bit.
Yeah. So I thought that Gaster was doing the experiments mainly on the flowers, and after a few accidents that happened with the flowers, it was put on pause, and then briefly until he got pushed into the core and was scattered into time and space. And so when Alphys became the royal scientist in this situation, she didn't know what to do, but she saw on the logs that they were doing experiments with determination. But she started doing it with other monsters who had fallen down.
Mm-hmm.
But so she did make mistakes, but it was mainly because there was no one there to guide her and show her what she was supposed to do.
What do?
So most of the amalgamates are from Alphys, but there are a few amalgamates that were actually from that original accident with the flowers. And I'm in my head, it's the memory heads, since they seem to be the most, I don't know, far gone of all the amalgamates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is why the memory heads in the comic kind of recognized Gaster when he showed up in the TV. But, if you haven't read that far, you don't know that happened yet.
Yeah.
But when the memory heads see Gaster, they're like, "Oh yeah, it's you."
Yeah, but like his name is like bleeped out of existence, so.
Of course.
But
Yeah.
Gaster, hello darkness, my old friend.
Out of the
Dr. Crick.
all right.
Redacted. What is this? SCP universe.
Yeah. Going back to your original stuff that comes with this comic, your story revolves a lot around souls, and you come up with some unique abilities for them. how'd you come up with these abilities, such as the wings and others, such soul stuff?
Yeah, there is more of a symbolic reason for Faye's wings, so to speak. And human souls cannot absorb other human souls, and monsters can absorb other monsters. But there was, in a recent page, it's revealed that the Faye's wings are actually two other souls. Not gonna say who they are, but it's very heavily implied. And so the wings are kind of supporting her in a way. And it's also the reason why she became a ghost, because she had the equivalent of 3 souls worth of magic. So obviously she became a ghost. There is another. I am going to reveal what I believe the soul power of integrity is going to be, but that's not going to be till closer to the end of the story. So I'm not going to say it here. Spoilers. But yeah, I think that was my reasoning as to why Faye growing up always had paranormal things happening to her, or like animals would attack her, random furniture would fly around, like mentioned in her backstory.
Yeah.
It was because of those 2 other souls that were attached to her. They were essentially haunting her. Causing poltergeist activity and such.
Yeah.
And now she's a ghost.
Now she's a ghost. And so now poltergeist activity is very normal for her. She's like, all the monsters are like, yeah, it's normal, it's fine, whatever. It's like, what? It's normal? You're not going to kick me out?
Yeah. You gotta have a whole bunch of people that do that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally normal, it's fine.
Anyways, out of the this is like actually talking about how you're actually an artist and stuff, and not just about your story. Out of the Undertale characters, who do you have the hardest time drawing? And out of your OCs, who do you have the hardest time drawing?
I would have to say it's the more animal-like characters I have a hard time with usually.
Them snoots.
But I think recently the character that I take the longest drawing is usually Metaton.
Yeah. I mean, there is a lot going on with him.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with him, and I want him to look... I still want him to look kind of masculine, but with the way I draw people, he looks very soft and feminine.
I mean,
so I keep on having to go back and like, make him more manly. Yeah. No, that's too manly. He doesn't look like Metaton anymore.
You know that
sweet spot though is something.
Yeah, balance.
Like, I totally get what you're saying, because like I'm just like thinking of like Far and like other characters, and like somehow you manage to I don't know how you do it. You manage to keep like the soft, cute aesthetic, but some characters still have distinctly masculine traits, and I'm just like, oh my god, how do you do it?
I have no idea. I don't know how I do it.
I don't know if it's the eyes or what.
I did try to make Far's eyes a bit more squinty or more angular, and I tried to make his chin a bit more angular too, but without it being a anime point.
I mean, like when I think of, I don't know, but even I don't think, I guess for me personally, just like when I look at him and what I think, to me it looks less like his eyes are just like smaller, or like it's a reflection of how he looks physically, and more that he just is upset more. Yeah, that's his resting like sour face, you know what I mean?
he does have a face like that.
I have a character with a resting like grumpy face.
Yes.
Don't we all at least have one OC? I've got one too.
I got a few.
Yeah.
And I think the characters, like my own characters, um, I think the one that takes me the longest to draw, at least the one that's in the comic, uh, recently it's been Dr. Pipe
Mm.
Mm.
because he also has that delicate balance because he has that round face that all brownies have, but
Mhm.
also he's supposed to look kind of like manly and kind of old and tired.
Yeah, like
But
that old man
uh,
vibe.
but like he's not really old because brownies have they're pretty youthful throughout their life. They
Yeah.
look pretty youthful. Uh, it's
But
only
then
when
there's
they get up to
like how
like
people
300
act.
years old when they start getting gray hair. Uh, um, so so it's like sometimes so I have to, and also the length of his nose is kind of hard for me to get down sometimes because I want it to be because brownie noses they get longer as they get older, and that's the best way to tell how old they are because of how youthful they look all the time. Uh, so I wanted to make it obviously longer than Brown's nose, but not so long that it looks ridiculous. And that's kind of a
Oh
delicate
yeah.
balance sometimes. But I absolutely love
Is
Dr.
it
Pipe
worth it
though.
once you get the
I
happy
love him. He's
medium?
so once I get there, I'm like, yes, this is the best guy ever. There's been so many times where I finished a line art and I posted to my spirit Discord and I'm like, look at this handsome man.
Mm.
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah. Hey, little
It
side
takes me a
thing.
while to
Do
get there,
you
but it looks good.
a little side thing? Do you want us to link the Spirit Comics Discord in the description, or do you just want to keep that onto your own blog and stuff?
uh, well, the dub has the link to the description as well, so might as well.
Okay.
You have
I'll
my
be
permission.
I'll be sure to mess with that later. But anyways, your story, you sometimes focus on more minor Undertale characters in your story sometimes. What's it like
Yeah.
working with characters? What's it like working with these characters? Many don't.
I think it's a lot of
They don't
fun
have
to
a lot
kind
of
of like try to flesh out the other characters in the story, you know? Because not a lot of people focus on Mrs. Rabbit or that one person who lives in the little house underneath in that
yeah.
little wood area. You
Or
know
the
what I'm
ice
talking about?
throwing dog and stuff like that.
Yeah, like Ice Wolf and all that.
Yep.
Like yeah, you know that house in Snowden, like right before the cave where you find Glide. You see that little house and there's a little person who walks around.
Hmm.
I That's where Hana lives actually. um yeah, that's Hana's house. I was thinking, oh, who lives in that house? It's
I'll
Hana.
live there.
Yeah.
This character.
I actually designed parents for Monster Kid, which I drew into the story because I thought,
Nice.
well, Monster Kid talks about his parents all the time, but where are they? And
Well, I
there's a
mean,
bunch
there's an
of bunny
angsty
children.
answer to that question.
No, that comic makes
Oh
me
no!
sad.
That comic, it just broke my heart, but
Oh.
it was like so good at the same time, you know.
Yeah.
Cupcake wanting MK to be happy versus Cupcake wanting angst.
Ah.
The ultimate battle. It's all right though
I
because this time around, the answer to that question is not so angsty.
hmm
Yeah.
I feel kind
Yeah.
of
He
bad
actually does
because
have
like
parents.
the only
I
time I mention his parents in my story, even though he is a sort of like big character and stuff, like he's a friend of like Frisk. He's like the best friend of like Frisk and Azrael besides each other and stuff. It's like
yeah.
it's like it's like the only time I mention them is like it's like near the end of the story.
Oh. I think in my comic, that person who loves the sound of your knocking is his dad.
Oh yeah, that reminds
Um,
me a lot of the Ask
at the
Fri-
Printing Company.
yeah.
And
I
so,
remember
like, yeah, the person who likes the knocking is his dad, and his mom was the little pink monster who I drew with him in one of the panels. I was thinking his dad has very bad eyesight, so he has to hold on to his son's tail and walk around. I'm sure in some panels you can see him doing that. But I was thinking he likes to make things for his family, so he makes them clothes, but he's not very good at it. So he made his wife a scarf that was way too long, and he made Monster Kid a sweater without any arms. So, but that was my explanation as to why Monster Kid does not have arms. It's just that his dad made him a sweater that didn't give him arms, but he loves his dad too much to not wear it.
Well, that's sweet. I do kind of like it better though with him just like not just being armless and stuff. Because that's pretty fun with him.
I think in my mind he has just very short arms.
Little T-Rex arms like that.
He has one parent who has really long limbs and another parent who has very short limbs, and he's just got half and half.
Yeah. It's just little tiny T-Rex arms and stuff like that
like
one
dinosaur.
like that one little tail comic.
Yeah.
It's
So yeah, like having to look up all the different NPCs in Snowden and having to draw them for multiple pages, it's just kind of like, oh, giving them some more spotlight because they usually don't.
Yeah, I mean, who the heck
Attention
thought that
ever.
like a big character moment in an Undertale fanfic would involve the ice throwing dog or
I
wolf?
know, he's the ice wolf, yeah. Like that was a big emotional moment.
So soft and fluffy. All right, well, we only have like one more question for you, and at least on the official list. And chat if you want to ask her some more questions. We'll try and get to it, but we're probably gonna be wrapping up soon.
Tevin Daniels did ask a question a bit ago.
Yeah.
Is Frisk doing a genocide run?
No, Frisk is not doing a genocide run. It's Flowey.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Flowey is the one who's doing it.
Kind of already.
Flowey, no.
I'm just. What I meant was like that checks out.
Yeah.
All right.
And yeah, that's the reason why Flowey knows where the true knife is. So when he got his new toy, Frisk, he went back to New Home, got the knife, and then started going back to the ruins in order to start his killing spree. Which is why Faye and Brown were able to run into him in Waterfall before he started.
Yeah.
Doing his thing.
I don't think that's ever going to be explained, but that's how it works in my head.
Yeah.
But
Checks out.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of stuff like that, what's it like putting your own spin on events in game with your own characters?
I think I think it's kind of fun, getting to explore a different aspect of the characters that everyone's familiar with, because everyone knows that like you act differently with different people, but you're still you through it all.
It's still you.
You're still you. You're still you, but like you just naturally act differently with different people or in different situations. So,
I'm reminded of that. I'm reminded of that one meme that was going around like at the start of like 2017 and stuff. It's like start of 2016, it's you. End of 2016, despite everything, it's still you.
Yeah.
We're gonna need that meme again for the end of 2020, which has just been so bad.
Just
like the you
life instead, though.
Like this still you is just very tired, very messy, hasn't had a haircut in a year.
Yeah, I remember.
Has like bags under the eye.
It's still you.
It's still you. Oh gosh.
It's still you, but you get a haircut.
Get a haircut, please.
What's it called? This what is it? This year is actually my off year I cut it like once every 2 years. Which I know most people don't do it or they can't do it or whatever. So it's interesting to me how this all went down just when I had my off, when I'm gonna have, you know,
Yeah. I mean,
I
it
don't have to
worked
worry about
out
getting a
in a
haircut at
way.
all. No one's gonna notice.
Yeah.
I usually try to get my hair like at least trimmed once a year, because with my hair, it like it's nice and like it gets nice and long and wavy and everything, but then when it reaches a certain length, then I wake up with a gigantic tangle every morning, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Oh, yeah.
I I've even like even last night, I braided my hair and I still woke up with a tangle. I'm like, the heck?
So where'd you come from?
How did you do this?
The flip.
Vanish, trash chop it off. No more tank.
Tevin Daniels being like,
No more tangle.
Dude, Tevin Daniels being like, I hope Pasta Guy remembers the next guest. Yes, I will remember the next guest.
Yeah.
We have one lined up this time.
Yeah.
Yay.
But anyways, Cupcake, you said privately in the chat that you wanted to like talk about your fanfic at some point during the podcast. So you want to do that now?
If I could, that would be very nice.
Yes,
Well.
please.
You have the floor.
So, sorry. For those of you who don't know, I have recently started writing a fanfiction on AO3. I might post it other places, but I'm only familiar with AO3 at this point. And it's called Under the Willow Tree. And it's basically a Undertale pre-monster human war, and it's dealing with Asgore and Toriel's relationship, but as with Asgore as prince of monsters and Toriel as a daughter of a noble family, but of a noble family that has done things in the past which would make the royal family, namely Asgore's dad, the king, not very keen on his son marrying one of their descendants. And so basically Under the Willow Tree deals with their relationship, them having to keep it secret, and
Under the willow tree.
Yes. And their secret meeting spot, which is under the willow tree in the royal gardens.
Aww.
And
that sounds really interesting.
So yeah, it's just basically dealing with that thing, and with all the struggles where as they try to figure out how to actually be able to get married like they want to.
Aww. By the way, I have read the first chapter of it, which is already out, and it is the most adorable stuff.
Aww.
And I wanted to mention it today because I am hoping, if I get the time to actually release the second chapter today.
Yay!
Awesome. I'll have to...
Our things.
Yet another thing I'll have to put into the description.
No, you don't have to. I can add it. I can link it in the chat, I guess.
Yeah, I'll just I'll put it in the description.
You guys with your fan fictions are just so talented. I think the part that I struggle with the most in my comic is the dialogue, which is the only little bit of writing I have to do. It's so hard with it. I'm always like, I don't know. I'm always more like I feel like I want to draw out how things go, but I have to write down dialogue.
Gosh darn it.
People have
Like, how would they say this? I'm sitting there with a blank page. I have to think about what they're going to say first before I draw it out. takes me the longest. That takes me the longest, the dialogue. Give me your writing powers. Please.
Yeah, I really like mine. I don't know. Maybe I could share some of it.
Yes, please, a little bit.
Here, you can take a pinch.
Oh, thank you. I shall treasure it
Use
always.
it well.
Yes. I will not disappoint you.
Yeah. All right, and with all that, I think we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you, Junjo, for coming on to the show, and thank you, Elsa and Cupcake, as always.
Yeah, thank you for
course.
having me.
Yeah.
It was a nice time.
It was fun.
Yeah, for those wondering what's going to be happening next time, next time on the Determined Podcast, we are going to be having Winter Melon on, who, for those who don't know, is basically the second half to the Cello Chicta Growth Spurt comic dub pair.
Basically does most of the from what I can tell, most of the guy voices.
Yeah, most of the
on Cello Chiquita's dub, like on her dubs.
Yeah.
And also
The other half.
for those of you who follow Man on the Internet and the recent Deltarune the Not musical, Wintermelon is the voice of Lancer.
Yeah.
Awesome.
They are very talented, and it's going to be awesome having them on next time. And it most likely will be coming out on Wednesday at 2 p.m. But honestly, my schedule is still a bit fluid when it comes to that, because I am starting up college now, and my schedule will be shifting around a bit to compensate for that. So yeah, hopefully everything works out.
And I have to say also, sorry, Pasta, I have to say that sadly I will not be making it for that episode. It will just be Wintermelon, Pasta, and Elsa, because I am busy that week.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully that will all work out. And yeah, it's been a great time. Hope all of you have enjoyed, and see you all next time. Have a good night. Take care. And remember, stay determined. Stay determined. And we'll see you all guys next time.